with the folks. Once again, thank you for all of you that have joined us this morning for this map drawing workshop. My name is Genesis Coronado. I am the Outreach Director for the LAUSD Redistricting Commission. And so we'll go ahead and begin. We have a short presentation for you, and then we'll have Preeti from our mapping team who will guide you and give you a tutorial on how to do how to use the mapping tool to draw your own maps. So let's begin with the presentation. Can everyone see that? Great. Let's see, I'm gonna try to do full screen here. Okay, can folks still see that as well? Awesome. All right, sounds good. So today we're going to learn how to use a mapping tool that the commission has shared on their website, and we'll give folks a quick tutorial of how to use that. So first, a quick overview. Is everyone able to see that slide there, the overview slide?
No, it's still on the first slide, and we are not seeing it full screen.
Okay, I'll just go back to, how about now?
Yes.
The overview slide there?
Yes, we can
Awesome.
see the overview slide.
Okay, sounds good. So before we begin, I just want to give Braulio an opportunity to make a quick announcement about interpretation in case there are any folks here that need that service. Braulio, take it away.
Hola, buenos días todos. Si desean escuchar la presentación en español, pueden poner ahí entonces abajo donde aparece el globo, interpretación, que ahí podrán escoger el idioma de español para escucharlo de manera simultánea. Gracias.
Thank you, Braulio. So some of the things that we're going to be going over today, we'll just briefly talk a little bit about the timeline for LAUSD redistricting. I'll share the current draft maps that the commission has adopted and are now out there for public circulation. We'll talk a little bit about the map drawing criteria that the commission is abiding by, and folks that would like to draw maps should also need to take into consideration. And then lastly, we'll do a mapping tool tutorial with Preeti here, who will guide us live and show us how to use that mapping tool on our website. We'll hold questions till the end of the presentation. So if you have any questions, please write it down somewhere so you can, we'll have that opportunity to answer those questions at the end of the presentation. Great, so where are we in the LAUSD redistricting process? So like I mentioned earlier, the commission just recently adopted 3 draft maps that are now out in public circulation. Earlier in August, the commission hosted a series of public input hearings where we took comments and input from the public with regards to their communities of interest, and that input was used and considered by the commission as they drew these draft maps. The commission recently added an additional meeting, October 13th, to allow the public to also do presentations to the commission should they choose to present a mapping concept. So just want to make sure that everyone's aware there is that opportunity. If you draw your own map and you want to present, you can actually submit that to the commission and let us know that you would like a time on the agenda for presentation, and you will be allotted a certain amount of time for that. So the commission is hosting a number of public hearings next week where we will go to the community to take input with regards to the 3 draft maps that are out for public circulation. And they will once again consider that input, any additional mapping concepts or maps that are submitted to the commission, and take all of that information to finalize a map by the end of October 29th, at which point that map will then be turned over to the LA City Council to adopt or finalize by the end of December 31st. The City Council, just want to make a note here, also will be hosting a number of public meetings in which they'll also continue to take input as they come to finalize that LAUSD Board of Education map. So what are the Commission's proposed draft maps? We'll go over those three concepts. So there's draft map 1A and draft map 1B. And the main differences between those two are solely in districts 2 and 5, as you notice the changes there between those two districts. Now draft map 1 and draft map 2, those differences you can see in districts 4 and 3, as well as 2 and 5, and 7 and 1. So there's a number of differences there that you can point out and see there as you try to compare all three maps. Now it's important to note that these are the maps that the Commission has put out to receive public input. However, there could be a lot of changes made. They don't have to stick to these maps. They could consider different concepts. So they're looking next week to really hear as much community input and are really encouraging community groups and individuals to submit their own mapping concepts to really see if there are any other opportunities for additional changes. So just some important dates for you all. As previously mentioned, those 3 public hearings that are coming up next week. We have our first one on Monday at 6:30 p.m. We have a second on Wednesday, October 6th at 6:30. Our last one on Saturday, October 9th at 11 a.m. And then we have that regular commission meeting, or in this case, more of a special meeting on October 13th at 4 p.m. in which the Commission will hear presentations from groups and individuals if they have any concepts or maps that they would like to share with the Commission. So after the public hearings are done on the 9th, there's still that continued opportunity for the community to continue to share public input. We have various opportunities and ways in which the community can share that input with us. In the hearing, we have an online Google form that you can access on our website, where you can also share your input with us, talk about, if you're in support of any maps or any particular district on any of the maps as well, whether you have completely other, suggestions. We want to hear from you. We want the Commission to really have input to use, to really take from and draw from as they finalize this map. And then the 3 and 4, this is basically what we're here for, right? To use this mapping tool software, this mapping tool to really draw your own maps and submit those to the Commission for consideration. So as the Commission, drew these maps, they had to abide by a number of legal criteria. The first one being the equal population principle, which basically states that each district within the LAUSD Board of Education has to be as close to as possible in terms of equal population. The second one, the U.S. Constitution Equal Protection Clause, basically, states that race cannot be the predominant factor in terms of, how the commissioners draw their maps. The Voting Rights Act of 1965, which also wants to emphasize that minority groups should also have an equal opportunity to be able to elect candidates of their choosing. And the last, the traditional redistricting criteria. And in this case, we're talking about contiguity, compactness, and really considering communities of interest and making sure that they're together as the Commission considers how to define the boundaries for these districts. A couple of additional requirements that you as a group or as an individual need to consider as you come up with your own maps, right? We talked about the population equality requirements already and the Federal Voting Rights Act, right? We have to make sure that these maps are geographically contiguous. You have to try in the best way as possible to really respect the geographic integrity of the high school attendance zones, right? Or the local neighborhood council or local communities of interest. These districts should be geographically compact. And the ideal population of each district should be around 666,023, right? There is space for a 10% deviation, and I think Preeti can go into that a little bit more. So how do you go to this mapping tool software on our website? We've created a quick and easy way for you to access that. There's a bit.ly. It would be redistricting LAUSD mapping, and that would take you directly to this page where you can access the mapping tool. Once again, go over all the rules and procedures that you have to abide by as you draw these maps. And it gives you a quick links there on how to go directly to the mapping tool and where you can start with a blank map or start with the current districts. And now I want to turn it over to Preeti so she can give us a quick tutorial of how to use that mapping tool. Preeti, take it away. We can't hear you yet. There you go.
Good morning, everyone. And Genesis, can you let me share my screen? I think you have to stop sharing for me to share.
I think I just stopped sharing now. Can you try again?
Okay. Good morning, everyone. And my role here today is to present the redistricting tool that LAUSD has selected. And I'm at the place where Genesis left off, where she showed you the bit.ly. And what you can do is you can save the bit.ly, or you can simply bookmark the link so that you're able to get to this website easily. So now once you're there, you have two choices. You can start with a blank plan, or you can start with the current districts. So whichever you choose, what will happen is that once I click on it and I get this map interface, and I chose the blank map, and that is what I see. In order to start creating the districts, what you would do is you would definitely have to come in here and make an editable copy of the map. So when you click on this paintbrush icon, it says, do you want to duplicate this map? And you would definitely say yes, because that's the only way that you could actually start working on your own plan. And once you click on it, it just takes just a little bit here to draw. And I actually picked up one of the plans that I was working on. So let me go back here and say that I want to start with a blank map. So let me go back here and close all these so that I don't confuse you. And one more thing I wanted to say, when you start with a blank plan, this is how the application comes up with. And in order to save and make an editable copy of this map, you have to definitely sign in. And right now I'm signed in, so it's just letting me in there straight, but you would have to sign in. It's a very simple process where you just provide a user ID and a password. Okay, so now what I have done is I have I'm going to just arrange this. Yeah, I have a blank map. And now what I would like to do is it's already configured with the 7 districts that LAUSD has. And I have the choice of working with these levels of geography, and block gets a little too much, so we can get started with the precinct. Okay, and if you look at the window here, these are our 7 districts, and it is telling us, that we don't have anything assigned. And down here, if you look at this box or this part of the screen, I always like to turn on my background map so I can see where I am. I can also turn on my district lines, labels. I can have my county lines, city lines. So we can have a lot of information there. And also, if you would notice that I can zoom in, and I can simply zoom in using my mouse, or if I don't have that capability, I can use the plus sign, and then it allows me to zoom into the area that I would like to work with. Now here, what I also want to show you is that as I hover my mouse over a precinct, I get the total population, the voting age population, and also some more data, which is partisan here. So you can see the number of votes each party received. So here, now that I know my screen, and this allows me to just stay on the map, this would allow me to go into the statistics of each district. So let's start creating a plan. So when I want to do that, I would like to select the district that I would like to work on. So let's say I want to start in the northern part of the LAUSD, and I know that this part is District 6, and I do want to carve it the way I would like to and the way I think it should be. So I would come in here and I would make sure that my District 6 is selected. So how you can tell that the district is selected? By when it has this little red dot on it. The next thing that I would do is I would make sure that my paintbrush is selected. And once I don't want to do that. Oh, geez. Okay. Let's go. Okay. So here, what I want to make sure is that I select my District 6, and I have the ability, see, if I want to, I can select my brush size. So if I want to do a quick district assignment, I can choose a bigger brush size. And then I click on this and I have my district selected. And now I can just zoom in so that I know what I'm doing. So I am, because my brush size is big, I'm trying to pick up the precincts, which I have up top selected, and I'm picking them. And notice that as I'm assigning them, it's telling me the total population that I have so far assigned to the district. Anytime I can say I want to zoom in further so that I know where I am. So I'm just, and then I can use my pan button to actually see, and I can zoom in further. And as I get into finer assignments, I'm going to reduce my brush size. So, but I know right now I have to go long ways. So I still have to assign approximately 500,000 people. So I am going to make sure that I have this, and I will keep assigning. So it's like a paintbrush that I am doing, and the application is keeping track of all the areas that I have assigned. And right now I still have 287 short, so I would pick up. And so here, notice that my ideal population or my target population is 663,023 that Genesis had shown on her slides. So my goal is to reach that. And as I'm getting close, and at this point, I'm 17,000 over, but this is my broad assignment. And at this point, I'll say, okay, this is a good place where I want to stop, and I can lock it. Okay, so now that I have locked it, I can go back and use my pan and see what I have done so far. And maybe this is the way I want District 6 to look. And of course, I can go back and refine my assignments. So at this point, I'll say, how about District 3? And I would still have my large brush size, and I will go make sure my paintbrush is selected, and I will assign. And of course, you know, when you make your plans, my goal here is to teach you the tool, but when you would be assigning it, you will make sure that you know which road, you know which part of the district you're assigning. So I have reached in my District 3, I'm still 254,000 short. So I'll make sure that I have that, and I'm going to. And because I have locked my District 1, I'm not accidentally picking areas of District 1. So this is, and here I still have, I'm still short, and I want to make sure that my background map is there so I can see the streets also. So I'll zoom in, and as I zoom in, you can see more information, names of the streets, etc. So here I still have to go, and I can keep doing this process. And once I'm done with this, and I'll just quickly, let's say I made some assignment and I really didn't mean to. So I have this option of doing an undo. So undo takes care of that. And if I don't want to rely on undo, I can go in here and use the erase option. And with the erase, I can say, I want to erase all this that I did. So that is how you would fine tune it. And of course, I didn't mean to erase this. So I'll go back to my paintbrush and I'll do that. So this is how you would look at the background information, and you will keep creating your districts. As you do that, what you can do is you can go and look at your statistics so that while you're getting this information here, you can look at statistics, and the statistics button is going to tell you that you haven't, so many districts are totally blank. And this is, and it also gives you partisan lean, it gives you racial information, race and ethnicity, so you can keep track of that. And when you want to go back to your map, you'll click back on the map and you will continue doing it. So in order to show you, what I'll do is I'll increase my brush size a tad bit more and try to assign districts here. So we'll go back to District 3 and make sure my paintbrush is selected. And when you want to fine tune your districts, and notice, look at my numbers, and I'm like 204,000 over. So at this point, what I will say, how about let me go to District 4, and I will take away some areas, and we will of course think of where the valley and where the schools are, so that our assignments are not they have a logic behind them. So here, and typically what I do is I do broad assignments, and then I can go back and refine them. And at that point, I could use the block. So let's go back and assign. And I haven't really taken anything from District 3. So I can come up here and say, okay, how about this whole thing? And then keep track of my numbers. And this one looks like, okay, I have done that. So I will go back and pick District 2. And I will use the hand. And before I do that, let me finish this up a little bit and make sure that you have your paintbrush when you're painting the districts. Okay, so here I have gone over again, but not to worry, because I'm going to go carve my District 2 and 5 here. So I'll say, how about District 2? And make sure my paintbrush is selected. And here we go. And of course, you know, this is a tutorial. So when you actually make it, you want to be careful about the areas that you want to assign. And notice here. Okay, so look at my numbers, and I have too much assigned, 126,000 more to my District 2. So let me go and pick District 5, and maybe that's what, and I can, at this point, I can lock my District 4. So when I lock it, you will see a locked sign here. And when you try to assign any areas from there, it will not let you. So right now I am in District 5, and I'm going to do my broad assignments, like I said, and then we can come back and clean them. And here, again, I'm over. So I will go back and say, this is where I really wanted to draw my District 1. So I'll come back here and draw my District 1, and see that my District 1 could take this area as well. And I know I can still go more to my District 1. And here we are. So look, keep track of your numbers, and your District 5 needs more. And your District 1, we could take some more. And I have too much. So let's go to District 5 and assign these areas. And the only reason why I want to do a quick assignment of all the districts is so that I can show you how you can check your maximum deviation and check for any errors that may cause your plan to be rejected. So here, now look at the way my assignments are. And how about, let's go to District 7 now. So I'll come down to this part of LAUSD, and I will say I want to work with District 7, make sure my paintbrush is selected. And I'll quickly assign these areas. Okay, so I have done some broad assignment, but I have to go back here. These are areas that I have not assigned, so I can think, okay, let's give them to District 7. And now District 7 is too much, so we can see, okay, which District 2 needs some more. So we can come down here, and we will. Okay. And now this district is way too much, and we have to assign some to District 2. So we will zoom in further. And I'm going to look at what can I assign to District 2. So we will come in here and say, okay, and always make sure after you use the pan that you must have the paintbrush. And you have the right district selected. And notice how your numbers are changing as you're doing the painting. So here, and now District 1, so it's a process that you want to keep working on, and you want to make sure that you give good maps which follow all the redistricting criteria that Genesis discussed. And you also want to make sure that the maximum deviation is under 10%. Otherwise, your plan may get rejected. So at this point, what I would do is, just to make things better, I know that I have too many people in District 5, so I will try to make some changes here. And maybe I can follow a road. And anytime you make some changes or you propose, make sure that you have taken all things into consideration, all the redistricting criteria, which is readily available at the LAUSD website. Okay, so now at this point, I've done the assignment. I can see the numbers. I can see my District 5 is way too much, but I'm curious. I want to find out what my maximum deviation is and what does my statistics look like. So I'm going to click on statistics and it gives me notes. It tells me where I am. And look at this, that my maximum deviation right now is 36.52%. And once again, to tell you what maximum deviation is, it's the difference between the most populated and the least populated district. So as you can tell, in order to fix this, I already know that this district, I should assign more people and I should take away from this district, which has way too many people. So with this, I can go back to my map and say, okay, I think I have more work to do. So let's see, District 5 is right here. And I can choose to have my district labels turned on. So but I have the color reference. So let me quickly assign some more areas to district. And once again, I want to zoom in further so I can get more information and so that I have a logic of why I'm recommending my district like that. So here we can go back and keep track of the numbers. And if you zoom in further, you have to make sure you pan and then you go back and turn on. Okay, so this time, I have tried to reduce, although my District 5 is still too big. So let's zoom out and see how is my District 5 looking and maybe District 7. So I'm actually doing this. So let's see. And this is what I did. And I think I want to quickly go into my tools and do some checking. I want to see, did I accidentally leave any district, any precinct which was unassigned? So I can say, how about that? And it tells me, oh yeah, I left this out. So I want to assign it to District 7. So I did that. And apparently I did 15 I left out. So I'll have to see, okay, this one should go to District 7 too, District 7. So the tool is going to guide you and make sure that you do not leave any precinct which is unassigned. And I like the way it automatically zooms you in. And this one, for this one, I think I have to pick District 6. So you always want to pick the right district. And here it should be District 4. So this is showing you how you can assign the unassigned precincts that you left out. And sometimes, there are these little areas. And for this, I think I have to pick, with this, what you're ensuring is that your plan is going to be a good plan and it's not going to be rejected for any reason. So here, I think I have the right district here. Oops, I did not. So I'll say undo. And at this point, I may say, okay, which part, where am I? And I think it should be District 7. So we'll assign it to District 7. And this one should be this. So I like the way how it automatically takes you there, shows you where the problems are, and then highlights it for you so you can. And now look at this, I have only 1 out of 2 left. So I will make sure that I have the right district. And so this is how you're going to fix any unassigned precincts. The next thing is contiguity, and this is one of the redistricting principles. So I will say, help me find which districts are not contiguous. So I'll click on non-contiguous districts. And it tells me that there is some contiguity problem here. And I can see, oh, I accidentally assigned this area to District 2 and it's making it non-contiguous. So I will say, oh, okay, I can fix it. And then I can just scroll. Oh, okay, look at this. This is something that I have a non-contiguous district. So this one, I have to assign, maybe it should go to District 4 because District 4 already is short of people. So I want to make sure that I have my paintbrush selected. And when I make these changes, and if I'm happy about the changes that I have done, I want to make sure that I have locked the neighboring district. So I will say, okay, show me the next one. And here I need to assign it to the right district. And here I have, so I want to make sure that I lock my District 2 and just pick this area and assign it to District 1. So I'll say, okay. And once you lock it, then you won't be accidentally picking up something that you did not mean to. So here we have 2 neighboring districts, so we can decide where this particular precinct should go. And then you can also look at the street names and notice how you're seeing those street names, and you knowing your area, having that local information, you would say, oh, this one should technically go to District 1. And so we have fixed all of those. And now I can say, oh, maybe I still have, okay, no. And I can go and see if there's any precinct that was stray out there. The application would help you do that. So we have done that. I can zoom back out to my whole area. And notice, how this is the way I wanted my district to look like. But let's say I wanted to fine tune some areas. So at this point, what I would do is I would quickly go in and use the block, make sure that my paintbrush is not that big. So when I select areas, it's not a lot. So now I want to come in here and zoom into the area. And anytime I use my pen, I have to go back and make sure that I have my paintbrush selected. And I also have the right district selected. So here I'm going to say, oh, I should have selected this. Yeah. And I want to assign it to District 2. And notice how one of them is, oh, okay. So and right now I'm picking block by block and my paintbrush is small. So notice now I can see all the blocks, but I can go back and make it back to precinct. So I don't have to work with many small pieces, but I have reduced my brush size. And I can say, how about I want to go back to my precinct and I want to pick this. And I want to pick this. So it depends on how you want to fine tune. If you want to follow a road and you want your districts to look really good, which you would really like to do that because you're voicing your opinion here. You want the commission to see your maps. So you want to definitely fine tune your districts. You definitely want to run all these tools and make sure that you have your districts are good. And once you're done, you can go back to statistics, and statistics will tell you if you have any problems. And right now, if you look at it, then my maximum deviation is still not good. So I have to go back and make sure that as I assign more populations to districts 1 and 2 and also district 7. So that is how you are going to go back and make sure and kind of repeat the process that I just did. And in the interest of time, now what I would like to do is show you how you've done all this work. Now, how is the commission going to see it? So let's go into the options that how I would like to save. So up here, there is this option, this arrow. What you would like to do is you would like to click on it and you can save your plan as a CSV file. So basically what it's going to save is, and I'm going to show you, once you click on that, it's going to let you save it on your local drive. And I would say, I want to export this. So it's going to take me to my local drive. And can you see my window where I can say that I want to save it? And I can choose the folder and I can give it the name that I would like. And I would say, okay. And when you do that, I'm not sure if you can see my window, but you can have a folder on your local drive so that you can just save it. And this would be saved as a text file. So which basically means which block was assigned to which district. The other thing that I like to also do is I would like to save it as a map image. So I can, when I do that, then it saves as a map image, which is more for reference. It's not very useful because we don't want to work with images. We want to work with files with actual data. So you could do that. So map image could be just for your reference. You can say you want to click as district shapes. And when you export it, you can save it as a GeoJSON file. So you could do that. But what I like is you could actually share your map. So when you click on share, it gives you a URL. You can copy and then share this URL. And that way, and you can just copy it. And I know Genesis had shared some email addresses. So you could just take this URL and share it. And once you share it and you send it to the right email address, it's going to reach the commissioners and they would evaluate your plan. And you can also save it for your own reference. So with this, I think I would like to open up for questions. So if you have any questions, you could, this would be the time to ask.
Hi, if anyone has any questions, please raise your hand and we'll call on you.
And other than that, I just want to say that I have shown you a lot of things. It's a very simple, easy to use tool. The important thing is to know what your goal is. What are you trying to do? And you know your area, and you definitely want the background map on. You want to have your city limits. You want to have as much information turned on so that when you're drawing it, you have more reference information, because sometimes, you may know your area, but it may be like hard to actually connect with it on the map.
Thank you, Preeti. It looks like we have no questions. I'm going to go ahead and share my slide. Can you stop sharing so I can share my last slide with the contact information and the email address where folks can send us their maps. So let me go ahead and share that. Okay, great. So if you decide to draw a map, you can send that link directly to us at redistricting.lausd@lacity.org. And yeah, we'll make sure that gets to the commission. And once again, if you're interested in presenting to the commission on the October 13th meeting, please try to send us your map by October 10th. If you have any trouble having it ready by then, let us know and we'll try to work with you so that we can make sure that the commission has access to your information as well and your input. You can also reach us by telephone at 213-221-2245. And there's our website. Once again, we are also active on social media. If for whatever reason, you would like to refer back to this presentation, we'll be posting it on our YouTube channel. So you can go back and refresh your memory about how to use that mapping tool. You can also share that with other groups or individuals who are interested in drawing a map for the LAUSD Redistricting Commission. But with that, I think if we have no questions, we can go ahead and end the meeting now. Thank you once again for joining us this morning on a Saturday morning. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we really hope to see you all at our upcoming public hearings, and we hope to see all your maps that you draw. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.